everybody.
Hi, everyone.
What's going on? Yeah, we're doing something a little bit different tonight. Skip happens on the road, so to speak. And tonight we're live from the Wildcat, which is in upstate New York, Syracuse. This is where we do a lot of country shows. But, I was talking to the owner. I said, I want to take the podcast out on the road. And he said, why not do it at my place? Well, here we are. It's a Wildcat.
Yes, right in Camillus.
Do you know why it's a Wildcat?
Why is it the Wildcat?
Because we are in a school district by the name of West Genesee,
okay.
and they are the Wildcats.
And they're the Wildcats.
And as you can see, the colors, you can see some of the gold behind me.
Well, you can see Camillus behind us. Is this the... Oh, yeah. This is the school.
Well, no.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, that's the Octagon House.
That's the Octagon House.
And the Octagon House was part of the Underground Railroad way back in the day.
Very cool.
If you know your history. I do not. So, well, I do to a certain extent.
Yes. If you lived it, you know it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So here we are. And I don't know. Hopefully you can hear us. Let me put the chat up because if you're watching thing a little bit different. We're also going to be on location tomorrow night. Just to give you a heads up right now. We're going to be at MBT Bank Stadium. We have an artist coming in, and we're going to take her to the ball game. But we let her watch the game. We're going to find out what she's all about, and we'll be live from the stadium. So that's kind of cool as well.
Very exciting.
Yeah. What a show, though. You know what we're going to talk about tonight? We're going to be
talking about crazy things that we may have seen on television. But I kind of want to go back to this event right here in Camillus.
Okay.
Like this place right here. I want to talk about the real cool thing about this place, especially for us when we work in radio, is that normally when we go to events, we're going to amps, we're going to theaters, we're going to really big venues per se. And then when you come here, it's closed. It's like you get to sit, you get to hear the artist. So it's much different than the other things that you get to go to. It's very intimate. Yeah, it is intimate.
And when we bring the artist in, you get a chance to, if you're in upstate New York or, we're doing an event, come on out to the Wildcat. They've got a stage, and it's very intimate, as I mentioned, and the artist will come down, and they'll hang out with you. They'll sit with you. They sign a lot of autographs.
Yes, this is the place. Yes, this is the place I see more pictures, more autographs. Really cool. I just wanted to give a shout out to this place.
Absolutely. A big shout out to Dan Tome.
Absolutely.
He is the owner. Tonight, chances are he's probably at the ball game. Although he's a Phillies fan. So, but he's also
but he's into baseball.
Big time.
Big time.
Well,
there's sports on everywhere. There's TVs all over the room that we're at. I mean, I see softball, tennis, baseball, horseback riding. There is literally everything up on the TVs right now. So I love that.
If you do, let's say you are from the area and you check out the Wildcat, if you go to the back of the room, you're going to see like a bookcase. And in that bookcase, there are a whole lot of yearbooks from West Genesee.
And it goes back. How far back do you think it goes?
I'm in there.
You're in there. So it goes.
I did.
I'm not going to say. I won't pick on you.
What?
No, that's fine.
It's okay, but it all goes with where we're going with tonight's conversation.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you've been watching Skip Happens, and when Reagan comes on, Miss Ray comes on with me, there's, she's fresh out of college. She's young. She's energetic. She's living her dream, or her passion is to do what we're doing. I've been there, done that. And reality is I could be your father. No, seriously.
Yeah.
So that it makes it work. And what we're going to talk about tonight is, did we really land on the moon? Did we? I don't know. We're going to get into that for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because what's going on with the news right now. We had Artemis 2 go up.
That was the coolest.
It was cool. It was very cool.
I wanted to be on there.
Would you go to space?
I would go to space.
In a heartbeat?
In a heartbeat. If somebody said, hey, we got one seat available, I'd be like, okay, I'll go. I've always said I wanted to go to the moon. Nobody can bother me.
Even though the travel there, the bathroom is as excruciating as it is, and the food you may have to eat.
They had bathroom issues. They had restroom issues.
Could you imagine being all the way in outer space? I mean, I get homesick with the bathrooms at hotels. You know what I mean? Imagine the homesick that they got, like in a
It was
in a
just
rocket
it was pretty awesome, but it made everybody think a little bit, and even people I know that did
and
see
reflect for
the
sure.
landing on the moon back 50 some odd years ago. Now they're going, why didn't they land on the moon? Why did they just go around it? Did we really go to the moon back in 1969, or the first of how many different lunar landings that they say we had?
Yeah.
Makes you think a little bit.
Yeah. And it's really interesting too, because you're somebody that lived that. You were able to, in the late 60s, early 70s, be able to see the moon landing. And then me, who was born in the early 2000s, I've just lived this vicariously through people like you. So it's really interesting about that. But then get here where we're on the moon, and the word that we may possibly land back on the moon. So it's very interesting.
So what do you think? You're living, watching what everybody else is watching and what people are telling.
Yeah.
But what do you believe?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think there's conspiracy theories is really where I'm going to put it. I think that there are things that happen that we kind of just accept. You hear something, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that happened. But sometimes we really don't question why. And I think that sometimes there's room for that why, and that's where you get conspiracy theories, and people really just sometimes resonate with those. And because I'm one of those people, like we just mentioned, that's learned about the moon landing through people like you, it leaves more room for those conspiracy theories. So me, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I would love to believe that we landed on the moon, but it's just he say, she say. There is news, and I think it is interesting that 50 years later we didn't make it a mission to go on the moon, considering that we had gone in the past.
You were thinking back over 50 years and the technology and all that. We knew how to do that 50 years ago. That makes you think a little bit like, did we really do that? Or was it on a movie set?
And it was just, done, and it was everybody playing an actor, and sometimes that happens. And I think, well, I say that sometimes happens. I can't think of a specific thing where we're like, oh my gosh, we all got, hoaxed. But like in another way, it definitely, like I said, there's conspiracy theories, and then you start to question, like, did we land on the moon? Like, why was the flag moving? Why were the response?
The flag was moving because somebody was moving the flag.
Right. Okay. Right. And then
there's no wind, no
and
atmosphere.
then I think the pictures really like didn't show stars in a way. I don't know, Skip. It's just and then as we've evolved with time, there has been other things, we can
if you're watching this, I'd love to see your comments. You can, type it in there and send it to us, and it'll help out with the discussion a little bit. What we're talking about. But it's all generational, I guess. Right? It's everything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Generational. We got different generations here. I think younger people often see, the grainy footage and assume primitive equals fake, so to speak. But the people of that era knew how big the space race was, and they knew what was at stake, because back then, the Russians were trying to get to the moon before us. Everybody was, it was like a space race. It was crazy.
It was a space race, which would almost feed into that conspiracy theory a little bit more, just because, like, if Russia and another country are trying to get to it, if we broadcast, hey, us as America, we landed on the moon, we did it, Russia didn't, how awesome is that? Like, they just take care, you know what I mean? Like, they show that we made it. So what's the point in having Russia go?
Well, Russia's going to do it.
Russia's still going to go. There's countries that just, it doesn't matter if there's tough competition, other people taking care of business. They're still going to be a part of it. And that's just how they roll.
You've seen the footage, the grainy footage. You looked it up. We talked about this at the radio station. And because of that, the footage looked staged. But
from the 60s or today?
Yeah, no, from the 60s. From, we're talking late 60s, so maybe even 1970, 1969 with the, the lunar landing. but I remember all that like it was yesterday.
Mhm.
And I'm a believer. I think we definitely did that. I sat in front of the television and watched Neil Armstrong go down the steps and Walter Cronkite doing the talking back in the day. God rest his soul. When Neil Armstrong was one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. Hello, Roger. Yeah, we're at the Wildcat, by the way. So Roger's chiming in. Just thought I'd give him a shout out. But yeah, absolutely. So, just watching that, I mean, I remember my dad ran a tape recorder.
Mhm.
And that was the old, I don't know if you know what this is, a reel-to-reel tape recorder. The little, it was different than a cassette. It was long even before that. So, but we taped it.
You taped it.
Yeah.
Do you still have that footage from when you taped it?
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, my mom, it was a long time ago, 50 some odd years. And by the way, the tape probably would have crumbled by now. It turned to dust, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, it's crazy. So you talked about the flag moving.
Yeah, I also think one thing that's really interesting is the response from the astronauts when they came back. When we look at Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. That's
misspoke. So when we reflect on them, their mannerisms were not similar to the astronauts that came off this past time. They were kind of distant. They kind of looked a little spooked. You know what I mean? Which to me may or may not seem like they're staying silent for a reason, if you know what I mean. And then we get to today and we look at the astronauts who are on the moon than we've ever before. And they did see the dark side, which could lead me to a whole nother conspiracy that I don't even know if we're ready for. But yeah, when they came back, we also looked at that footage today. And we are so happy to be home. I mean, the smiles on these people was so ear to ear. It was amazing.
Do you think that, I guess I get why it catches people. If you don't know the science behind what you're looking at, strange can become suspicious. And it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So.
Or something different for sure. And there's always room for that why.
What about government distrust? Do you believe, there's a lot of that going on. Have we been lied to for so many years? Have we been taken advantage of for so many years?
I think that's a really valid question. And, I do come from a little bit of a journalism background. So I understand, when it comes to news that, there are certain things that the news does have to talk about. There's certain, what I mean, like time-wise, stuff like that. And I don't know if being lied to is the correct word.
Probably
I think
not.
it's more in a way the government may have thought that they were protecting at that time, if that makes sense. Just because,
to me, it doesn't make sense.
Say, if there's a fire, would you scream fire, or would you try to have so that everybody disperses so chaotically, or would you rather have a situation where things can happen in a proper way? You know what I mean? So I think that's really where that comes from.
Yeah, I guess.
Not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying giving the government some grace.
Well, I guess distrust isn't proof.
Yeah. Itself
isn't proof. So, yeah. But doesn't automatically make every giant event a lie either. So,
that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very interesting.
So I know that my mind is going, and I'd love to hear from you if you're watching this. Let us know what you think. Do you think we landed on the moon back in 1969 and then thereafter a whole bunch of times? Our our rover's still up there. The flag is still up there. There's no atmosphere, so there's no wind to blow anything around. How would you explain the bringing back of the moon rocks? Maybe they're not really moon rocks.
Maybe.
I don't think about all that. And they're on display, and I know in DC they are. So that's kind of cool. But
and I think another thing too that I do want to mention is that there has been, it's how many years has it been since we landed on the moon?
54, something like.
And
I don't
we
know. I'm not a
haven't.
math person, but it's
I
over
just think
50
it's
years.
have progressed extensively in that department. You know what I mean? Like within 50 years, wouldn't you think that, oh, we would have been on Mars, we would have been on Jupiter, you know what I mean? Like not literally, but maybe we was government funding and things like that. But still, it's questionable to me.
It is.
Because there's still things that come out all the time about it.
So, would you say hard to believe is the same as false or no? I wouldn't.
No.
Okay. No. Okay.
Because fact is fact. You know what I mean? Like evidence is evidence, and if it's real, it's real, and you know.
Just think, conspiracy may feel more satisfying.
That part too. I think that that goes back to the conversation earlier that some of us find comfort in just confiding in what we're told, and others find comfort in exploring what we're told, questioning why, and that's really where that comes in. Is whatever you resonate with.
How do we understand the world?
That's a loaded question, Skip.
Really?
You should be telling me this. How do we?
But how? Think about that. How do we understand the world? You and I have different thoughts, different opinions on all that. But how do we understand the world? What's going on? You have to remember, I guess, everything we're talking about wasn't just science. We had the Cold War, all that propaganda. There was a lot of stuff like that going on. The United States and the Soviet Union were competing for prestige, power, technology, and influence. All that was going on. And it continues today, as we know.
Absolutely.
And all that.
And I'm sure another thing that I do want to point out is the advancements in technology, like social media and access to information. So I think like nowadays, like you could find anything on the internet, you know what I mean? Which then they were easier to cover and hide it up. So I think that now we're to a point where like if you did lie, you don't have room to cover that up because secrets don't last long nowadays. You know what I mean? Like you can't get away with anything.
See, the whole technology thing's got me.
Now he's he's like light bulb. Oh my gosh.
No, really, because all right, so we had Artemis 2. It went how many hundreds of thousands of miles from Earth? They've gone, or they went, quote, where no man has gone before. They went the furthest of everything, and we could still talk to them.
Yeah.
Just like you and I are chatting here. So that's amazing.
That is amazing.
When we pick up our cell phone and we lose a connection going down the road, depending on where we are. But yet we can talk to somebody how many miles away. So it makes you think a little bit.
For sure. That definitely does. Now that we're talking about it, it definitely does make you question. Like there are, you drive down the street, you go to the backside of Inner Harp to our station, and you can't hear 92.1 The Wolf, and you're like, what's going on? We're right next to the the tower.
The tower's there.
Yeah, that's why the tower's there. But then you are like, oh, we can talk to somebody thousands,
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, so far away, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like.
So, if America had faked the moon landing, the Soviet Union would have loved to expose them. And nothing like that.
I think that goes back to the technology thing. Like, there weren't technologies to be able to expose that in a way that I think that would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think they would have exposed it. There's so much going on right now. It's like every dog eat dog. There's all that going on. I mean, the politicians, the political side of everything. We're seeing it happen now. I mean, just with everything that's going on in the Middle East and all that, it's crazy. It's crazy. So,
yeah,
it's crazy.
And I do want to reiterate that, like, I think that every generation kind of holds and understands history differently, whether it's the way that it's being told down and passed down. And I think that for your time when the moon landing was a thing, like that was a triumph. That was a really big thing for you. But for me, it's a debate. It's like, did it happen? You know,
But
there's room for question because of the
you
advancements that we've had.
you had this discussion at home.
I did. I brought this to the dinner table.
Oh, that must
I
have been
did.
interesting.
My family's bit kind of into this. We love to just chat and sometimes talk about just conspiracy theories. So this was definitely something I brought back.
Are you one of those? Do you believe in a lot of those conspiracy theories? I shouldn't. I mean, you could.
That's a good question. That's a fair question.
and the reason I ask is, as we said before, there's a difference between us. I do not.
You do not.
I do not.
See, I'm actually going to lean a little against that. I am somebody that kind of is more of a conspiracy theorist, and I think because it goes back to I'm someone that sometimes gets told something and I don't always agree with it, and I always want to know why. You know what I mean? I want to know why that happened. I want to know why they did that, why that decision was made, and I also So, and when you think about the why, it leaves room for that conspiracy theory about questioning if it did happen, you know? And there's lots of other examples of like conspiracy theories that could, well,
You didn't live it.
right. And that's
So
where I
you're
think
only
that
thinking and going by what we mentioned a few minutes ago, what
Absolutely.
you're seeing that's being presented to you in a lot of different forms. The videos that are online, who knows? It could be an AI generated image and it's showing
Fair point.
something different. There's a lot of that.
Fair point.
Katie Lynn, hello. Happy Wednesday. Right back to you. Katie, we're going to ask you, do you think we landed on the moon back in 1969? So we'll wait and see what Katie says.
Yes.
Katie's turning around going, Mom, did we?
She's like,
I don't know. But, it's just so interesting to talk about this because I firmly believe we did. You're kind of skeptical about it all. I get it. I do get it. But that's where, the difference between us. But then, I mean, you brought up some good points. You're a photographer. You take pictures. The camera exposure, the dim stars. You don't see that. People, look at next time you look at a picture. Andrew Best at Best Radio, he does his podcast now. Loved me some conspiracy theories. Ever look into when the Pentagon ended, is it DARPA's lifelong project and when Facebook started?
I haven't looked at either, actually. I think
Andrew,
those would be good to go down. I'm actually, Skip, you keep talking. I'm writing these down so that we can come back to this later.
Andrew's got, all right, he's got Best Radio. He just started a podcast. Andrew, I love the way he thinks and I love what he does. Everybody's entitled to their opinion and I have an open mind. You know what? Check out his podcast if you're watching this. Definitely some good stuff. He's just starting out and I'm here to help you if you need help. It probably doesn't want me to, but it's all good. But Andrew, so did we land on the moon in 1969? So I'll wait and see what he says. See, Katie has not responded, but
she's thinking about it. She's thinking which direction
Have
she
you-
wants to go, and now she's like, because it's one of those questions that like when you like think about it for a second, you're like, oh yeah, but then when you like sit there for like a minute, you either are like, yes, definitely, or you're like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where like the longer it lingers, the more you're like, I don't know.
When I'll read some of this stuff, as I just mentioned, the bright foreground, the dim stars, and the same reason, I read all that and it kind of makes you think a little bit. It's like, okay, really? But then being a photographer, which you are, that certain exposure and the brightness on this could affect the brightness on that, things along those lines. So, and how about the weird shadows? There were some weird shadows.
There were.
Yeah, I saw those.
Which is interesting, shadows.
Okay. A lot of photos that'll fool people pretty fast.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's getting worse.
It wouldn't, I don't know.
So do you think the footage overall looks fake?
I'm going to have to look at it again, but I don't know. I don't want to say fake because fake means like not real. And I think like there may have been a moon landing, but not on the actual moon. Maybe a moon landing on a set.
What?
You know,
like a movie set.
A built moon.
Movie set. Now,
have you ever watched Despicable Me? I mean, he took the moon. He had the moon. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
And that could be. I mean, we're gonna have to dissect this, but that could be drawing an analogy to the late 60s and early 70s.
I love this. Katie says, "I don't know, unsure." LOL. And
doesn't it make you think though?
See, Kate,
she's unsure.
She's unsure.
But if she was like, "Yes, it happened," she would say, "Yes."
She'd be like me. I'd be like,
"Yeah, yes, it happened."
Yeah, it definitely
exactly.
happened. And Andrew's skeptical about it. I've watched so many Rogan clips on this. It looks like bad special effects. You know, he's got a good point. Yeah, Rogan did a whole lot with that. So, yeah. Maybe Andrew's going to be our next Joe Rogan. Which would be kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So let me ask. Oh, go ahead.
I guess I was going to ask, like, do you think that this moon landing is real, or do you think that this is also a distraction from things that are going on, especially because you mentioned during the time, you know, there was the Cold War, we had Vietnam War, and with the things that are going on right now, it makes you question, you know, is the moon landing real, or is this also
a distraction?
Or is this something where like history repeats itself, you know?
Well, all right. I know.
I said it.
You said it. You put it right out there on this table.
I said it.
You did.
I did.
You did. But so you're talking about a moon landing from before. I mean, this time we just went around the moon and came right back to Earth.
Yes, that's what
Okay. All right. That was like.
I misspoke. Yes.
Did you watch any of that? Did you watch the splashdown of Artemis?
We watched it as well today. The other thing that I was looking into the astronauts, and one thing that I found really, really interesting is one of the astronauts is Canadian.
Yes.
Which I think is very cool. And I also think leads to fewer room for conspiracy theory, if you know what I mean. Just because if it was America, yes, exactly.
Right. So now we have somebody else involved.
Exactly. You have another country involved. You have another party involved, so it has to be more real. But maybe this is the first. I don't know, Skip.
I know. See, now
the more we talk about this, the more I'm
deeper,
like, oh
and
my
it goes
goodness.
deeper, and it goes deeper, and it just keeps going. It all,
and
it all stacks. Geology, engineering, astronomy, international observation. Look at the space station, the ISS. There's different. We were up there with Russians, so everybody kind of working together on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just amazing. It's amazing. Katie says it sure does. And Andrew's still thinking. So, yeah. So it's a crazy conversation, but is it really? I know. Have you, I know you and I, we just, but one day, I don't know how it came up. We just started talking. And I said, you know what? We need to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because my beliefs came out and what you were thinking came out. And then we had a few other opinions from around the radio station. And it's like, yeah, we got to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Because now people, I think our minds are going in so many different directions because of everything that's being presented to us.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned that before, but it's so true. Whether it's the moon landing or whether it's something else going on somewhere else that, you know what, is that really happening? Or is that somebody trying to trick us?
Yeah. And kind of going back to the beginning of this episode, we were talking about the Wildcat and this being a place that real experiences can happen. And then we kind of segue into like the question, like, are the things sometimes we experience real or, I don't know.
I'll bet you if I yelled out to these guys over here, did we land on the moon? All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's six gentlemen sitting over there.
Do we?
And by the way, I do know they're all police officers, but they're sitting
so
over
perfect.
there.
They're the perfect crowd to start yelling at,
No. It's just like, you know what? I don't know if they look over here, I'll get their attention. But I'm just curious. And you know what? I want to say they're a lot closer to your age than my age, obviously. Although, one of the gentlemen, he's retiring. So, but
I was going to say, it looks like
mid-40s. So, yeah. So I don't know. I wish I could
Skip
find
wants
out
to go
some-
around the room and ask every single person. So if there's a follow-up video to this video of Skip asking
Yes.
individual people, don't be surprised,
Yeah.
you know?
So I do want to know if you're watching this, can you hear us okay, number one?
Mhm.
Number two, are you enjoying the conversation? And number three, do you think we need to take this podcast out on the road even more?
Yeah, what do we think of being out on the road? You know,
Exactly.
I really enjoyed this, Skip. I
would-
like it.
I want Andrew. You haven't met Andrew.
Mhm.
Andrew actually worked with the radio station for a while.
Very cool.
He was a morning show producer. He just, he's working really odd hours. Great kid, great guy. And now, I know he loves radio. He's like you. He's got that passion and that dedication. And he's got his beliefs, and that's okay. And I love that. I love that. He would be somebody I'd love to have to come in and let's talk about this stuff. So we can get him into the
We're
pod
gonna have
zone.
to get. That's what I was just about to say. Andrew's gonna have to come to the pod zone. Maybe meet us at a Mets game. Who knows? Who knows?
All right. So the end result is, I believe we did land. You're really skeptical about
I'm
it.
skeptical.
And Andrew says, I dig it. It sounds good. Thank you, Andrew.
Perfect.
Promise me you'll come on Skip Happens, and I'll come on Best Radio.
Yes.
So he calls his podcast Best Radio. It's Andrew Best. So it's good stuff. But yeah, so here we are, and a little discussion about what happened. I can probably pretty much wrap this up.
Yeah.
But so much fun. I know we have different. We set up the cameras. Look, I can go like this, and we can go like that,
Hi.
and then we get that's the wrong one. There we go.
No. And then we're back.
Then we're back. We're back. We're together. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. So, anyways, this is what's going on. Hey, let me ask. Do you think we landed on the moon? No. In 1969, a long time ago. Do you think you do?
You think we did? And
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Told you. Sorry. We're having a discussion on
about the
podcast.
moon landing on a podcast. We're discussing the moon landing. It really happened, she says.
Yes. There
Yes.
It is. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, see, Skip happens.
Skip happens.
It does, and I love it. I love
That
it.
was awesome.
You know, yeah, we should just set up another mic when we do this too. But
Yes.
anyway, so thank you for watching, everybody. Skip Happens talking a lot about, the moon landing. Did it really happen back in the day? Did it not happen? I think it did, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. But then the question is, why didn't they do it this time? Why? Why did we, I think it was very exciting. We can extend this just a little bit because that just came to mind and I can do some editing. But so we spent, and I think it was great that we sent 4 astronauts into orbit, sent them to the moon. They looped around the moon, then they came back.
Yep.
But what was that mission all about?
Being able to be actually be able to land on the moon.
But
right?
we didn't land on the moon.
No, I thought we were going to go up again to be able to land on the
so
moon.
Artemis 3 next year. I was reading about that. And then there's some talk about going to Mars once we get past the moon thing. But do you realize going to Mars, it's going to take a lot more. It's a lot further. So therefore, you got to have more fuel. You got to have more of everything.
Food, more everything.
More everything. So then, do we have a rocket that big? Can we do that? Think about that. You're thinking.
I am thinking, and I think it's whatever you believe in. If you believe we can do it, we're gonna do it. And if
it is. It's awesome. Miss Ray, you're awesome. I love your.
You're
See,
awesome.
this is what I love about you. It's just your thinking, and we have 2 different ways of thinking and coming together and doing the podcast. Nothing better with Skip Happens. That's what it's all about. I know this is what you love. This is what I love, and we're making it work. And we're out on the road, and they say they can hear us just fine. They love the fact that we're on the road, and we're going to do more of this tomorrow night. By the way, about the same time, maybe a little bit earlier. You and I will be at the stadium. With a Nashville recording artist, and surprise, tomorrow night you'll find out about it. Yeah. Skip Happens. I do want to say thank you for watching, everybody, and you can leave us a comment. Let us know if you watch this a little bit later. Say you're watching the rerun. Just let us know about that as well. But thank you for watching. We're live from the Wildcat. This is so exciting.
Yes, very cool.
It's very cool.
This was fun.
It is. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Dan Tome, the Wildcat. We are in upstate
Yes.
New York, a little town called Camillus. If you're ever in the area, you got to make sure you check the place out. Thank you for
Absolutely.
watching, everybody. And I want to say good night.
Good night.